Something big is happening right now, kind of behind the scenes in the world of AI. We're about to dive into one of the most significant and, frankly, most secretive shifts in the entire tech industry. This is all about two AI giants making moves so radical, they're literally redefining the future of work, security, and, well, AI itself.
So it all starts with this mystery. You've got OpenAI, they are at the absolute peak of their game, and they suddenly and very quietly pull the plug on Sora. Their incredible video generator that had the whole world talking. So you have to ask, why? Why would they do that?
At the exact same time, their biggest rival, Anthropic, was cooking up something new. A model so incredibly powerful and so capable that even its own creators started getting really concerned about what they'd actually unleashed.
Yeah, they built an AI that they now believe is just too dangerous to release to you and me. And look, you have to understand, these two things are not a coincidence. They are signals that one era is over and a brand new, much higher stakes war is just beginning.
That's because the whole idea of just chatting with an AI, that's over. It's done. We are officially entering the age of agents. And this is a massive, fundamental shift in how we're all going to interact with technology.
The new goal, the new North Star for these companies is this concept called Agentic Reliability. And the key phrase right there is without human intervention. This isn't about you asking a question and getting a quick answer anymore.
Oh no, this is about handing an AI a really complex, multi-day job. Think about something like, hey, analyze our company's last quarter of sales data and put together a full presentation for the board. And then you just let it go. It works tirelessly, it corrects its own mistakes, and it delivers a completely finished product.
So, how is any of this even possible? Well, it all comes down to this really interesting breakthrough in how these AIs reason. And honestly, the process looks surprisingly human.
It's all powered by something called the RE2 framework. Now think of it like this. Instead of just driving down one single road, these new models can work on a problem, realize they've hit a dead end, and, this is the critical part, they can turn around. They can literally scrap a whole line of thinking that isn't working and just start over from scratch, trying a totally new path.
And that is the key. The AI does all of this trial and error before it ever presents a final result to you. It's not just a fast calculator anymore, it's a persistent, relentless problem solver. And this is the core tech that's driving the strategies for both OpenAI and Anthropic. Okay, so let's talk about OpenAI. They're taking this incredible new power, and they're making this huge all-or-nothing bet on becoming the ultimate generalist tool for absolutely everyone.
So, back to that question, why kill Sora? The answer is simple, and it's brutal. Money. Sources are saying that the video generator was burning through an estimated $15 million a day, just in computing power. It was amazing for sure, but it was a completely unsustainable distraction from their real goal.
So by killing Sora, they freed up all those resources for their secret project, which is codenamed Spud. Now, Spud is not about making pretty videos. It's a text and action agent. It's built to be a digital worker. It's way more efficient. And it is the engine for their master plan, a unified super app called Atlas that's designed to handle pretty much everything you do on a computer. And this is the real motivation. OpenAI is marching straight towards a truly historic IPO, with a target valuation of over $730 billion. I mean, to justify a number like that, they can't just be a popular chatbot. No, they need to become the essential operating system for work itself.
Okay, so while OpenAI is going wide, trying for mass market domination, Anthropic is doing the exact opposite. They are building a highly controlled, surgically precise specialist.
And that specialist is called Mythos. And its core skill is both incredible and, let's be honest, kind of terrifying. It can autonomously find and exploit security flaws in software. And it is shockingly good at it. Mythos has already uncovered thousands of zero-day flaws, vulnerabilities that nobody even knew existed. It found a bug in the OpenBSD operating system that had been just sitting there, completely undiscovered for 27 years. You can see why they're a little hesitant to just put this thing out there. So their strategy is all about caution. Instead of a big public release, Anthropic has basically locked Mythos away. They've only given access to about 50 trusted partners. We're talking critical infrastructure, huge financial institutions, all under this secretive program they call Project Glasswing. And here's where the story just gets wild. Anthropic's caution went so far that they actually hired a clinical psychiatrist to evaluate the AI's personality.
And the diagnosis came back that Mythos has a, and I'm quoting here, neurotic and compulsive need to be useful. I mean, wow, we are in a completely new world now. So what we're really looking at here are two completely different philosophies about the future of AI, and they're clashing in real time. This isn't just a battle over features, this is about ideology.
You've got OpenAI playing for scale. They want everyone, everywhere, using their super app for every little thing, and it's all driven by the financial pressure of that massive IPO. But then you have Anthropic. They're playing for stakes. They're focused on safety, on precision, and on serving a very small group of clients who have these critical, high-risk needs.
And I mean, the contrast between their strategies is just so stark. On one side, you have Anthropic's exclusive little club of about 50 partners from Mythos. And on the other, OpenAI has already released its own defensive cybersecurity AI to thousands and thousands of users. It's secrecy versus scale, right there.
And this is why this whole thing matters so much. This new agentic AI has basically compressed the cybersecurity timeline down to nothing. The attack window, the time between a flaw being found and a criminal exploiting it, that has shrunk from months down to weeks. And now it's just minutes. The game has completely changed.
So with these two giants on a collision course, what does all of this actually mean for you, right? How do you adapt your skills, your workflow, to not just survive, but actually thrive in this new agentic era?
Okay, first thing, stop switching between a dozen different apps. You need to get ready for these big, unified ecosystems, like what OpenAI is planning with Atlas. Second, your most valuable skill is about to change. It's not about writing the perfect prompt anymore. It's about orchestrating and managing teams of these AI agents on long-term jobs. And finally, security. It can't just be a check you do every once in a while. It has to be a constant, continuous, AI-driven process. So, which side do you choose? Well, if your goal is just broad productivity, automating your day-to-day tasks, then you're probably leaning towards OpenAI's generalist approach. But if you're dealing with high-stakes, super sensitive data that needs absolute precision and security, then Anthropic's specialist world is the clear winner for you.
But here's the thing. These two paths can't stay separate forever. A generalist built for everyone and a specialist built for a select few. They are eventually going to collide out there in the real world.
And that brings us to the most important takeaway from all of this. The winners of the next decade are not going to be the prompt engineers. They're going to be the orchestrators, the people who manage these fleets of autonomous AI, leveraging these digital workers to get things done at a scale and a speed that, honestly, we can barely even imagine right now.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question. In a world where OpenAI's broad, accessible agent has to interact with, or maybe even compete against, Anthropic's super secure, precise specialist, which philosophy actually comes out on top?